Like a glove. Even nicer. Because this is the one that's gonna fix my boo-boo. The question is, how do I get this off? I mean, the best tool is very often the simplest. And here, in our case, that's a knife. I think I'm getting somewhere. Ah! Look at that puppy, huh? Well, let's see if it fits. Alright. Let's remove this puppy. Press fit like any other. No, it's gonna be a press fit like no other. So don't really need much glue. Then again, this goes. Yes, that works. That works like a charm. All right, today is gonna be the great wiring day. But before we do that, we have to remove some parts. Now the biggest wiring challenge, if there is a challenge, is going to be hooking the wind chest up. But I'm going to do that last, because I'm going to start at the mains power. So the two top switches, I'm going to figure out how to wire up and do that. This one, where do I put this one so it doesn't break? Okay, all there. So you don't need this one at this point. Now if this were 12 volt, I would have soldered all the connections. But since this is 220 volts, I'm gonna use these, I don't know what they're called in English, these flat thingamabob, which is gonna make my job a lot easier. And the first thing I'm gonna do is just gonna route some wires from these and down. If I give them a good half meter, that should be plenty. Maybe a meter. I have the cables. There's no point in being greedy. scarce. And here's the first question. Should I run both neutral and live to the switches? I really only need to do one of them. I mean, for good measure, I like to do both. But of course the amplifier just has one, but then again, it's factory made to be cheap. So, we never built this to be cheap. So, let's start by figuring out how it's actually wired. Nope, 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 nope. And it's off. When it's on, oh, that's easy. All right. Let's touch it. That's one. At least it looks good. At least it looks good. How long does these need to be then? And down there, all the way down. It's probably too much. Way too much. And again. I don't care. Picture for the gram. Okay, since I'm planning on building a bellows for it, it's gonna cover up here, I think. I would like to have the power connection over here. And since there is a fair chance it's gonna move, I made this. It's gonna be a power strip where also all the power cables comes out from. But this one. Now I have a problem. I used the shrinky thingamabob on that end, and I could do that here as well, but I don't got the connectors for these. So I can solder these onto this, or Or I can solder the cable onto that one and then put a shrink on there. It's not a very elegant solution, but if I leave this a bit proud, then I can get bigger connectors. Ooh, spade connectors, that's what they're called. But is that what they're called for both the male and female part? Or is that just the male part? Because that looks like a spade, so I get that one. Alright. Let's leave the philosophical questions for later. So where do I want to place this? Well, I think I'll just place the power adapters first. That's a smart thing to do, I think. Yeah, let's do that. And there's this one. It's a bit too tight for comfort. Let's release the clamps a bit. Yes. Did I drill? No, I didn't. So that one can just be held in place by its own sheer willpower. That's nice. Clamping it down slightly. So that's where the power thingamabob is going to be. Power supplies. That's what they're called. I would call them transformers, but anywho. Alright, so these will have power. One of these switches then will go down and power both of these, which is nice. Then the question is, if I put in, it would be coolest if I put it here. Fine. This one in here. But it's gonna be in the way. I'm gonna put it up here. Of course, it's easier to hold the wires here while I'm screwing them in place, but when this connector is going on and the wire is going up here, there's no point in leading them through these holes now, are there? I can make a new one of this any day. And I can place this one here. Ones will be here. Too much thinking needed. Don't like it. Again, I can't really understand why someone wants to use anything other than Torx. I mean, you don't see Philips televisions, mobile phones, well, at least not as much anymore. Maybe there's a reason for that. Maybe you also can get them to just drop the screws, because I could make the world a better place. Alright, choose your battles. Choose your battles, alright. So these are grounded, and this one is grounded by itself, and I'm going to use this one to hook it up there. And of course, I actually had yellow. These kinds. This plastic seems a bit dry then. But let's give that a try. Okay, so this one is gonna be here. That we already know. And then that's the grounding pin. These ones will be going up there and into that one. Alright, the plan is before I hook up the 220 volt in, I'm just going to tidy up the cables with some zip ties, because that will give me a better understanding on how long the cables should be. I'm a big fan of tape. Everyone who knows me knows that, but a good contender is actually zip ties. They last longer and you don't have to worry about the glue of the tape deteriorating over time, and they're easier to remove. Alright. I actually have fancy clamps to actually do this kind of work, but I can't be bothered removing everything and setting it up on the counter. Alright, so this is the speaker cable. We made this very appropriate hole for. Speaker cables and the power cable and the grounding wires all fits like it was intentional, eh? Nice. These a bit. Yep. Same with that one. Brilliantly. Alright, then we need to tighten that one up. One thing is soldering out a table with a good setup. Another skill is actually soldering in the field on your lap. And have I burned myself a lot of times? Oh yes. But then again, that's a part of the game. The problem is, do I want them to go on the outside of everything, like this. And then of course, should go down. Just scoop that one up a bit. Because, alright, these are going to be loose. This is probably a bad idea, isn't it? Sometimes actually doing some proper cable management early on, knowing that you will have to redo it at some point, it's still beneficial because it will allow you to visualize how everything should go and also get inspired by how it actually can end up looking. Alright, and this one, will this one have a loop as well? This one will have a smaller loop. No. I will double that back, so that's going to be left as is. Well, this is actually the most critical part because you're going to have 220 volts exposed over this, and now you're going to be here, and of course I'm going to be fiddling in here with my fingers, so that's a shock just waiting to happen. So this ones I'm actually going to put heat shrink on all the way out to the end. Because getting that 220 sting is an experience I don't like to do that voluntarily to myself, at least. I wonder if they make tapered heat shrink cable. I mean heat shrink tubing. Would be cool. Come to think about it, I should have a door here. Or basically some shelving. This one should now work. But this got me thinking. I think it's actually ready for putting some 220 volts into this bad boy. See if we can make any smoke, or hopefully no smoke, but some lights turning on. Now the big question is, do I have a power cable? This is gonna be proper scary. Alright, the switches are off. Everything is off. Alright. We have power. Okay. we do have some noise. Alright, both power supplies came on, and the cooling fan came on. It actually states that the fan should come on when needed, but as far as I can tell, it's always been on. Alright, let's see. .14. That's not bad. And then switch to those. 1247. Alright, the noise in the speaker did not become amplified when I turn these on, but I think I can hear a frequency there that matches the fan. That's okay, as long as the sound in the speaker is so low that the fan is overpowering it, I don't care. What I do need to do though, I need to switch the polarity on these switches because they are constantly glowing. That means that the power is in on the same side that actually light up the lights. And I want these to be dark when they're not on. Now there's nothing wrong, but it's just a way of wiring the switch to your preference. But I would like these to be, well, not glowing when it's off. Hahaha, brilliant. Got a bit noise from the pot meter on the delay. Same on the chorus. Max volume, max gain. Not any added noise basically. That's good, that's good. Max level, max gain. Okay, you get some humming there. Sounds like it's coming from the transformer in the amplifier, but it's probably some other disturbances as well, but I mean, I will never play at those levels, and when you have a guitar connected up to it, it's it's gonna be far noisier than that. So yeah, we have power. And we have 12 volts and we have 5 volts. All I need to do now is to solder up the wires and the connectors to connect the wind chest to the power supplies. And then we should be ready to start programming this thing. But before we do that, there's one thing we need to try. Just for the hell of it. Give me a minute. Right, I'm sorry. None of us are here to hear the guitar amplifier. But I just need to know how it sounds like. Alright, how does this sound? Haven't changed strings in a year plus, so it's gonna be what it's gonna be. Alright, not too bad. Not too bad. Of course, you're gonna have to test the overdrive just real quick. Gain, max, level. Alright, let's start low. Alright. Ooh, that sounds terrible. Alright, let's not play around with that tonight. And yeah, it works. That's all we need to know tonight. So, let's do the final stretch and hook up the wind chest. But first, I'm gonna have myself a cup of coffee.